I think as I've been a teacher for 50 years, a university teacher for 50 years, and as I stood out against my aunt Cornelia Sorabji, when I was 9, she made a determined attempt to make me be a lawyer. And at 9, I said in front of all the judges and barristers she introduced me to, no, I'm going to be a teacher. Now, I've taught for 50 years, but it's only in the last few years that teaching has been absolutely transformed. Because, well, starting in the year 2002 in my case, a lot of the lectures which I gave to people, and I've always lectured not only to postgraduate students, undergraduates, school children, but I've also always lectured also to people who've never been near a university or who left school very, very early. Now, in all that time, you can normally only talk to a few people. This is almost the largest audience I've had, because it is thousands in those two big ones, and I've only once before talked to thousands of people. Now, what is extraordinary about the web is that what you say goes out all over the world. I do actually think that's a wonderful thing. And people write to me, I don't know them at all, from countries in every part of the world, and they say, we've just read what you said about so-and-so. If it was something I said 10 years ago, I sometimes feel momentarily embarrassed because maybe I've changed my mind. But in the way, I think that is a very, very good thing. It needs a bit of safeguarding, because if you are conscious that your views are very, very temporary and you haven't quite worked them out yet, it's better not to have that forever being looked at. But by and large, it's a wonderful service. I think it's transformed the possibility of teaching and interesting people in these kind of questions that this festival interests people in. It's a way of having something rather like the festival in its width of subject matter available to people who couldn't possibly ever be here, regardless of what country they're in, and regardless of how much money they have or whether they can afford to find out, buy books on this subject. No. And of course, these talks on the web have to be intelligible. There mustn't be extremely technical things for a postgraduate student who's doing some very specialized thing. No, and I like this best. They've got to be of general interest. So I think it's a wonderful contribution to what I really enjoy most, the role of teaching and also, of course, learning, because all the time I'm learning, and here I'm learning in this festival. No, so I think it's a really important thing. It's a continuation of the festival outside the festival.